Hey mama, in today's episode, I am going to be teaching you my strategies and what I have been doing to instill this practice of mindfulness in my children from a young age based on all of the self-development and strategies I have learned in this online business space. And I have transferred these practices to my children. So why do I want to teach you this? Because I think it is so critical that we create confidence within our children from a young age, that we help them feel empowered as kids so that they truly feel seen and heard. So in today's episode, you are going to be able to walk away with your very own kids confidence toolkit that you can begin to pour into your kiddos. I'm so excited to share this with you. So let's do this. Welcome to the More to Motherhood podcast. If you have a calling on your heart to play bigger, to impact more people with your business, mission, or the team that you've created, but you can't seem to get there, then this is the perfect podcast for you. Together, we will rise by smashing the glass ceilings and stepping into our greatest potential. Hi, I'm Kristen, busy wife and mama of 3, top 1% network marketer, and your new sassy best friend. I believe that as a busy mom boss, you have what it takes inside of you to be an incredible mom and an empowered businesswoman. If you're ready to do the work, I'm ready to be your BFF and mentor you on this journey to help you create your 6-figure side hustle and beyond. It's time to uncover the more inside of your motherhood. Let's do this. I am so excited for today's episode, and I just wanted to let you know that you are an amazing mama and an incredible mom boss. As an entrepreneur, we learn a lot about ourselves and we go through a lot of self-development. So if you want tools and tips on how to not only be an amazing mom boss, but also use some of these strategies with your children, I'd love to have you jump into my group, More to Motherhood. The link is bit.ly/More to Motherhood, and I will put that in the show notes for you guys. So before we get started, I want to read a review. It's a 5-star review by Haley BW. I have no words to express how awesome this podcast is, just what I have been waiting for, the right words and advice I needed in my life. Thank you so much, Kristen. Everyone needs to listen. You will be hooked instantly like me. Can't wait to listen every week. That makes my day so much. Thank you, Haley. I love it. If you guys would be so kind to leave a review, a written review, I would be so appreciative. I love reading these reviews and it really makes my day. Okay, so I'm super excited to dig into this, you guys. You're gonna love this episode. I just love utilizing the tools that we have to improve as moms, as entrepreneurs, but then turning around and giving our kids this toolkit, this confidence toolkit, because I feel like growing up, my parents didn't know anything about self-development. They didn't teach these types of practices like meditation, mindfulness, EFT tapping. So I'm gonna dig into that. But y'all know that I have 3 crazy kids at my house. It's a fun, hot mess over here, okay? And it's super loud. I don't know if y'all have loud, crazy kids at your house too, but it makes it fun. So anyways, if you have a loud, crazy house with your kids, then you are my people, and that's why you're here, and I love you. So anyways, I was going on my self-development journey, and I've been in the online business space probably for over, I want to say 6.5, 7 years now. And for the first couple of years, I didn't know anything about self-development. I didn't know about like the mindset piece or anything in building a business. And I think that that's kind of why I fell flat in my business for the first 4.5 years. So when I finally decided to build a business and do things differently, I really got into self-development. And I was on this journey to build my online business. I learned so much about myself, problem solving, learning how to de-stress, manifest, and motivate, because I'm gonna tell you guys, the first 4.5 years for me in business, I was stressed out. I was running a business reactively. I was a hot mess. I did okay, but I just always felt anxious. And that's not how you want to run your business, right? Because children are super in tune with vibrations and energy. And if you're giving out that energy of like stress, it's going to transfer to them. So I've been really trying to be cognizant of that since I started my online business journey over again with a successful business now for the past 2 years. And so when I started doing the self-development, my kids would see me in action doing these things for myself, and they would copy me. So my daughter, Avery, would see me EFT tapping and she would copy me. So I started teaching these methods to my children because I felt like these tools were helping me. And if they could help me, I knew that they could help my children. So I knew that from doing a morning routine, I felt more empowered, I felt motivated, I felt excited and grateful, and I was more self-aware and mindful. So I was like, well, if this is helping me have those things why can't it help my children too, right? So I'm super excited to share this strategy with you and these tools that I use with my children so you can start instilling mindfulness and gratitude with your children so that they can have their very own confidence toolkit. Because I know growing up can be tough sometimes for these littles because so much more is expected of them at a very young age. And so y'all know my son, for me, and if you don't know this story, my son has autism, is on the autism spectrum disorder. He really struggles with stress and anxiety and confidence and kids liking him. He knows that he's different. And so I decided to implement this tool with Caleb about the affirmations. So I had affirmations recorded for myself and I would listen to them every single morning in my car on my drive to work and when I was dropping my kids off at school. And my son would listen to them too. And then I just had this like light bulb moment where I was like, I'm going to record affirmations for him. Because when he was little, like he was like always wanted to like make a happy, he wanted to make me proud, but he's always struggled in the classroom and at school with confidence and, problem solving and making the right choices, right? And I just remember one time he looked at me and he was like, and he was so serious and earnest. His face was just so sweet. He was like, it's so hard to be good. And my heart just broke because I know that as adults, we are not perfect, but we don't usually get in trouble, right? Because we're in charge of ourselves. But these children are trying so hard to take in so much information at school, relationships, friendships, and that can be hard for these little people. And I just looked at him and I was like, you know what, buddy, you're right. You are so right. It is so hard to be good all the time. And I think he said it's so hard to be good all the time, which is true. It's hard for me to be good all the time, right? So I was just like, okay, I got to do something. So what I did was I wrote out these affirmations for him on a piece of paper and he could read at the time. He was in, I think, 3rd grade when I had this epiphany, but he said that in 1st grade. And I started having him draw pictures at that time of what he was thankful for, what he liked to do, but I hadn't yet been doing the affirmations myself, right? Because he's 11, so he was in 3rd grade when I finally had this realization that, hey, I can help him with affirmations. So what I did was I wrote down all these affirmations and it basically was like, I make great choices, I get along with my friends easily, I'm an amazing big brother, I am an amazing son. I get along with other kids effortlessly. I have so many friends. I passed my FSA, which is a test in Florida that you have to take for the state to get to the next grade. I passed my FSA easily. All of these things, I wrote them down. And obviously, like, he rolled his eyes at me, but he did it. And it was so sweet because then we recorded him reading this and he listened to it every morning, you guys. And he still listens to these affirmations in the morning on the way to school. And he kind of gives me, he's like, oh, do I have to do this today? But he really likes it. And I can see a shift in his mood because it helps him hear himself say it and he truly believes it. And so I just love that. So you might want to do this with your child and it's just so powerful. I would play it at night for him also before he went to bed. It's just really powerful listening to yourself tell yourself that you are amazing, basically. So that's one of the tools that I would recommend is affirmations. I do that for myself as well. Another thing that I did for my children is I made a motivational playlist. Now, my daughter absolutely loves this, Avery. She is a little spicy diva. She is 5, and she loves this motivational playlist. And one of the songs on the playlist is Carrie Underwood, Champion. Have you guys ever heard that song? It's amazing. You got to go listen to it. I also have on my playlist Taylor Swift, The Man, just because it gets me all fired up and empowered as a mom boss. But the Champion, we have a playlist, and that's one of her favorite songs on the playlist because it's like, I am a champion. I can do anything that I want. People try to knock me down, I get up again. And she just sings it and she just dances it and she believes it. And to have that confidence that some of these kids have at such a young age, I want her to keep that. I want to instill that in her. So we have a motivational playlist that we dance to. We are big fans of dance parties in this house, especially on the weekends. I have them talk to me about goals. So my son's goal is to get on the soccer team in middle school. His goal is to do well in school. He wants to be an engineer. He talks about having his own business. And I love that because I want my children to believe that they can do anything. So I have them write those goals down. And for Avery, she needs help writing it. But if your child is little, you can have them draw a picture. So I have these giant posters that they can like make a collage of all the things that they like. They can paste pictures. It's like a giant Post-it note. You can stick it on the wall and they can look at it. So it's like their own little vision board. It's so amazing. So that is another tool I recommend. And it's so much fun to do as a family if you need like a fun family activity. And I also share, when I pick my kids up sometimes, a motivational YouTube, which like we listened to Les Brown, and he was talking, he could do anything. My son got really into it. He's like, can I really? And they wanted to listen to it over and over again. It was so cute because they were getting so fired up and so pumped up. So don't underestimate the power of some of those 5-minute motivational YouTubes from Les Brown or other motivational speakers, because your kids can sense that excitement, especially for my son. He's 11. It really, really helps him to get pumped up and to start thinking about things in a different way. And you can listen to that on your way home from school or on the way to school, whatever you choose. And then I always like to ask them questions about the motivational recording. But my son Caleb really gets thinking about those things, and normally he'll be asking me questions, but it's really fun. Another thing that we do as a family, and it kind of gets to be a hot mess, but it's still fun, and I think it's still good to try to implement that practice, is meditation. So you can find family meditations on YouTube. I have the Peloton app because I have a Peloton. We sit on the carpet in the playroom and we listen to meditation, and we all sit, and Avery sits with her hands crossed and her hands on her knees. And sometimes we giggle, but I really just think it's such a great stress reliever for kids to see us doing that. And I used to meditate every single morning. And I still do sometimes, but I got to get better at it. But I had a system when we were homeschooling, right? Where I would sit out in the patio every single morning and I would do my EFT tapping and I would do meditation, and Avery would come out every single morning and meditate with me. It was the sweetest. So I really encourage that too, because even if they're just sitting there, it really teaches them, and you talk to them about how it calms you down and how it opens your mind, and they just do what you do, right? So I really think that's a great skill to instill in them at a young age. Even Riley was sitting on my lap, and Riley is 2, little Riley baby. She's so funny. She's 2, and she was sitting on my lap meditating. I mean, of course she's going to get up, so be flexible. But it's just the practice of doing it all the time as a family, I think, is really powerful. And then EFT tapping, emotional freedom therapy, is amazing. You guys, if you guys haven't gotten into that, you definitely can get into my group. I've done a couple tapping sessions. I've had another friend do some tapping sessions in my group as well. So you can kind of search in the group for those. But it is so powerful. It helps with so much anxiety, headaches, eliminating self-doubt and those limiting beliefs that you may have. So it's really, really amazing. If you haven't looked into it, there's some apps too that the tapping solution is an app you can download and do some tapping. But get into my group. We would love to have you. It's super huge. I'm getting a certification in rapid manifestation method, which includes EFT tapping. So I would, like I told you, I'd go out on my patio and I'd do the tapping, and my daughter would do the tapping too. So I just think, and I'm starting to teach my son, who's 11, tapping, because he gets really upset very easily. He's super sensitive and he's so anxious. So teaching him that he can go in his room and say whatever he wants without fear of punishment and just get those feelings and emotions out, I feel like is so helpful, because we need to give our kids tools to problem solve, right? Because if they can problem solve things on their own, and feelings are the hardest thing to process sometimes for kids. And I talk to my kids a lot about feelings, even Riley, when she gets upset, I'm like, why were you upset? And I give her options so that they can feel like they have a way to control those feelings and work through those feelings, right? And it's okay to be angry. It's okay to have those feelings. So tapping really enforces that it's okay for them to be angry, but we're going to help them not feel so upset, right? And you need to process those feelings so that you can get those feelings out of your body instead of holding them in. So tapping with kids is amazing, and you can just do it with them, right? It's so amazing. It's such a good bonding experience too. And then the last thing I did was a gratitude journal for my kids. So you can find some cute gratitude journals on Amazon, super cheap for like $5. And I got Caleb his own, where he writes and he circles how his day was and he writes what he's grateful for. And then Avery has a different one because she doesn't write very much yet. And so she just draws pictures of what she's grateful for. And it's been so awesome. So we don't get to sit around as a whole family every single night. But when my husband's home once a week, because he has one night off a week. y'all gotta know my husband has a crazy schedule, right? So he works like 9 to 9 every day. But on Tuesdays, he's off. And so we have dinner together and we sit around the table and we all share one thing that we're grateful for. And they can share about their journal if they want, or they can just share, from their thoughts, what they're grateful for. And I really feel like not only does this remind them that they have so much to be thankful for, because we're always talking about what we're grateful for, and even though we're upset or disappointed about something that we don't have, which is okay to have those feelings, we need to remember that we have so much to be grateful for and thankful for in this life, because we're here, right? We woke up today. So I really love instilling that piece of gratitude. And when you put all of these pieces of the puzzle together, especially the affirmations, but the family meditation, which can be so fun and like such a good bonding experience, teaching your kids, especially if they're older, like late elementary, early middle, high school, the EFT tapping, that can really help them process feelings and process limiting beliefs. And just, you give them all these tools and then they get to choose what's going to help them feel most confident. That motivational playlist and the motivational YouTubes, I mean, it's so amazing. You can change their experience just like that, you know what I mean? And their thoughts and their mood, because our feelings create our thoughts and our thoughts create our actions, right? So we want to change that. We want to give them the opportunity to manage all of those feelings and have that confidence toolkit, because with the confidence toolkit, it's a mouthful, with the confidence toolkit, they can really feel like they have the power to have solutions for how they feel or what they're going through, right? So I hope that you guys found this helpful. If you want the links for the Amazon gratitude journals, I'll try to find those and put those in the show notes for you. I don't have an affiliate for Amazon, so it's not an affiliate link. And then I'll list some resources for tapping and all of that stuff. But if you have any questions, feel free to connect with me on Instagram at More to Motherhood. And I would be happy and honored to share with you the affirmations that I did with my son and what I do for my daughter, and their affirmations that they listen to every morning, because it's amazing. So thank you so much, mamas. I hope you have an amazing day and take these tools and create your child's own confidence toolkit. And I will see you guys next time. Hey mama, real quick before you go, if this episode helped you in some way, or you got value or learned something new from today's episode, or you just feel more inspired right now, the number one way that you can thank me is to leave me a 5-star written review. That is the number one thing I ask for showing up for you guys each week, is a quick written review right over on the Apple Podcast app. I'd be so grateful. Thank you so much for being here. Just know that you can create the life of your dreams and turn your passion and purpose into your paycheck. Until next time, mama, don't forget, you are called for more.